in flowery language.
Or just creativity in general.
Yeah. He's like, just call it what it is.
I would argue the Bad Missionary Podcast is a more creative name, but yours is far more explanatory, certainly.
But how does that benefit them?
Well, I think maybe it's supposed to be engaging or enigmatic in some sort, so that maybe it's something where, like, news from Malawi, you maybe wouldn't remember because it's so plain. But maybe the Bad Missionary, Bad Missionary. Ooh,
somebody's going to stumble onto it and decide, wow, I should tune in every week to see what's going on.
I don't know. Let's get them on the podcast and ask them why they.
We'll see if we can get Doug. You've got a lot of questions for the Bad Missionary guys, and you know what? I think it's time someone finally took them to task.
Let's call them out.
Attempt to be in any way creative with the title of this show.
Well, I'm just saying, much like last week's with the GoFundMe pages, it's like if you want people to tune in or to get it, why not tell them what the hell it is? Why make them guess? I mean, you're making me guess for the fun of it, obviously, but it's, I think, a sad statement at how often I'm wrong.
I mean, you got a point there, Doug. You had no idea what the Bad Missionary Podcast was.
Or the Walkout Boys.
The Bad Missionary would have been a better title for Rocky Flintstone's book.
Doug, I zero disagreement there. A Bad Missionary is actually, if I have to guess, his actual father performs a very bad missionary, and every other sexual submission. He's shitty at all of them.
Maybe that's the book his mom writes.
Sadly, it took you describing it for me to understand the reference.
Oh, Bad Missionary?
I never do missionary, so...
That is true. Basically because Maria...
I was going to say, but
she does not look at me.
No, none of us do. This is why it's a podcast. She keeps
trying to give me the comfort sack, that I was like, I don't want to wear it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Does she ever call you Little Missy?
Oh, I don't even know if she's aware of that nickname.
Brandon doesn't know, but that's what's markered on the outside of the comfort sack.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
Again, I think
gangbusters.
Yeah, but I do think we brought this game back into the unsavory ground of My Dad Wrote a Porno.
Agreed.
Yes. So we've kind of brought around full circle. Doug, that means it's time to talk about next week.
Okay.
We've got some more pods for you to listen to, bud.
You know how much I enjoy it.
Well, for all our listeners...
For our listeners at home, Doug is the
Do it. Listeners at home, you listen. Not just to us, but to whatever I have to listen to.
I mean, that only seems fair, Doug. Next
week... You know what? Well, I'm just saying... Then our listeners can also email us and let us know whether they thought I was on point or off.
Absolutely.
We love feedback.
MDLTpodcast@gmail.com. They absolutely can do that. Let us know what you think of Doug's reviews. Do you want to hear more from Doug, even more than you're currently getting? Do you want to hear less from Doug?
Don't email in and recommend horrible podcasts just to make me suffer.
Well, we're not going to let other people... dissuade us from our already...
Right. Or alternatively, email in horrible podcasts.
Never mind, I take that back. Yeah,
100%. Okay. There may be some really painful podcasts that Brandon and I simply are not aware of.
Especially if they're popular. We really want to make sure that we're hitting Doug with both barrels of popular podcasts. And if they're terrible, all the better.
Yes. Much like Dancing with the Stars. How is that show still on? How was it on ever once?
How are they stars?
Hot takes from Doug.
I'm just telling you.
On his
never seen it.
Five for the Comedy Store
I'm just saying. I've never seen an episode.
Dance with the Stars.
What is the deal?
I'm going to agree with you on that. I don't know anyone. Now I have seen So You Think You Can Dance.
Right.
And they're amazing.
That's great.
Blown away.
Yes. Dancing with the Stars. And what's always frustrating to me, and this is the last thing we'll say about Hot Takes of Dancing with the Stars, is sometimes they pull on actual dancers where it's like members of NSYNC. You're like, wait, but they're
Seems a little unfair.
This is bullshit.
Right.
Like, you're stacking the deck against Mr. Belding, who has no conceivable ability to dance beyond, whatever shakes that he does at his dumplings gigs.
Yeah.
But anyway, the podcast for next week will be WTF with Marc Maron.
Doug, are you at all familiar with WTF or Marc Maron?
I'm going to say no, because... not enough to actually reference it to anything.
Have you watched the series Glow?
Yes.
Marc Maron is the sleazy porn producer who puts it all together. The mustache.
Yes. Okay.
That is Marc Maron.
Oh, I believe he was on Kevin and Bean.
Almost.
Yeah, that makes
certainly.
sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You'd be a guest. So Marc Maron's WTF is a. So how much should I describe it? Not that much, I guess.
It's an interview.
It's an interview show.
Okay.
Very much an interview podcast. It's become exceedingly popular. So popular that he ultimately had an interview with
The President of the United States, Barack Obama.
former President
Okay.
Barack Obama.
Wait,
Awesome.
is he not president anymore?
Oh, Brandon, I have. Okay, we're gonna have to go over this. I have very unsettling news for you. We're gonna talk about this off mic,
Guys,
Brandon.
he's president still.
Brandon,
you guys are pulling my leg.
I don't know how you missed this, but I have very terrible
Okay,
news.
well, it's not related to
All
this
right.
podcast.
Okay.
So we're gonna have you find his interview with Barack Obama, and I think
notes.
this is. If there was some kind of an algorithm that could create an anti-Barack Obama, it would almost certainly be Andrew Dice Clay. We're also going to have you listen to his quite notable, infamous interview with Andrew Dice Clay.
Okay.
As kind of the alpha and omega.
Perfect.
Thank you, Doug. That was a-
Hickory dock.
Okay, so everybody's doing this now.
Turns out she was saying inhaler. Get
Okay.
I don't know what the lead up is to that joke, but
We
that,
are going to have Doug do Andrew Dice Clay.
Next week, the entire episode, Doug will be doing his
In
Andrew Dice
character.
Clay. 100%.
and I'm
Brandon,
excited.
you'll be doing your Barack Obama?
Please.
Okay.
I just want to say to all the listeners.
Oh no, save it.
Yes, I'll save it.
it.
for
Oh,
podcast.
Brandon, it's so good. Save it.
But
Save it.
I haven't listened to the Andrew Dice Clay, so we'll be listening to that for the first time together. It would be very exciting.
That is very exciting, and so will our listeners.
And so
Do
our
it.
listeners.
Yes. Our listeners have become incredibly patient and tolerant with us as weekly our podcast just gets longer and longer. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Longer podcast, guys? More fucking Doug.
Hell yeah!
And on that note, well, we're gonna all listen to WTF next week with Marc Maron, Obama, Andrew Dice Clay, and we're doing that because we
We like to make Doug listen to podcasts.
damn straight we do.